Delhi's dreadful days are back. If you live in this city, you know you're choking once again. Delhi's air quality is hovering as we speak between poor and very poor. This is for the third consecutive day. What does it mean? It means that for people like me, it gets very difficult to breathe. Also, there's something constantly on our throats, in our throats. Most people in Delhi you speak to will be complaining of a headache, some sort of feeling of not being very well. And while all of us are struggling to breathe, our netas are continuing to bicker. Take a look at what has happened today. Delhi minister, and she's the services minister, Atishi, has said that her government has been operating continuously to curb pollution. She is essentially saying that the AAP government is trying very hard to curb pollution. But there have been barriers that have been put by the central government. The barrier that she's talking about is the Delhi Pollution Control Committee chairperson, Ashwini Kumar. He's someone who reports to the LG and therefore to the centre. She's accusing him of overturning a crucial cabinet decision on pollution in the city. She's saying that what essentially has happened is that there was a study that was to be conducted by the DPCC and the Delhi government along with IIT Kanpur to determine where pollution comes from in the city of Delhi. Essentially, what are the sources of pollution? But she's saying that the DPCC chairperson, backed by the LG, deliberately has stalled this IIT study. They are saying this study has been essentially blocked because the centre constantly wants to trouble the Aam Aadmi Party, but in turn, what the centre is doing is troubling the 2 crore citizens of the national capital. Listen in to what Atishi is saying and how the BJP is responding to that.
कोई भी आधिकारिक डेटा मौजूद नहीं है जो ये बता पाता है कि कितना पोल्यूशन कौन से सोर्स से होता है। इससे समस्या क्या आती है? इससे समस्या ये आती है कि कोई भी पॉलिसी बनाई नहीं जा सकती इस पोल्यूशन को कम करने के लिए जब तक सरकार को पता ही नहीं है कि कौन सा पोल्यूशन का सोर्स कितना कंट्रीब्यूशन कर रहा है। लेकिन आज जब सर्दियों के महीने शुरू हो रहे हैं, जब पोल्यूशन का लेवल दिन ब दिन बढ़ रहा है, जब दिल्ली के लोग अस्पतालों में जा रहे हैं, तो दिल्ली सरकार के एक अफसर डीपीसीसी चेयरमैन मिस्टर अश्विनी कुमार ने बिना मंत्री की परमिशन के, बिना कैबिनेट से अप्रूवल लिए, कैबिनेट के डिसीजन को रोक दिया, कैबिनेट के डिसीजन को पलट दिया।
आज दिल्ली के पर्यावरण मंत्री गोपाल राय और पीडब्ल्यूडी मिनिस्टर आतिशी ने दिल्ली की जनता से एक बार फिर झूठ बोला है। वो कह रही हैं कि कैबिनेट का डिसीजन को डीपीसीसी ने पलट दिया और रियल टाइम सोर्स का जो सेंटर था उसको बंद कर दिया और सैलरी नहीं दी जा रही। लेकिन सच्चाई कुछ और है। सच्चाई है कि आपकी शुरू से ही मंशा नहीं रही थी इसको कंटिन्यू करने की।
Let me go across to my guest this evening, Neoma Gupta, BJP spokesperson, joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Sumant C. Raman, political analyst, and Jaydhar Gupta is member of Right to Breathe, joining us on the broadcast as well. Neoma Gupta, respond to the charges that the Aam Aadmi Party is making, and let me break down those charges for our viewers this evening. The Aam Aadmi Party is saying, we don't know what the sources of pollution in the national capital are. We don't have data. Now, if we don't have data, how on earth do you expect us to formulate a policy to fight pollution in the NCR, right? Now they are saying to find out what the major sources of pollution are and how much they contribute, we commissioned a study. And that study has been stalled by the DPCC, that is headed by a bureaucrat who reports directly to the LG of the national capital, essentially saying the centre is the one, the BJP government is the one that is stalling Delhi's fight against pollution. Can you please help me understand why a study should be blocked by a bureaucrat?
So first of all, let me say something on the onset. This topic is no more a political topic. It's a topic which is a matter of concern and requires urgent steps to control it. So all this blame game of saying that one bureaucrat has done this and all doesn't add up, at least to me. If Ashwini Kumar flagged all the necessary issue questions to these guys in February, why have they taken so many months to come out in the open and say, listen, this is the reason why we couldn't do the study. And this is a critical study, which I agree to, but he flagged the issues in Feb. Why didn't you answer all the necessary, whatever the questions they must have raised in a substantiated fashion, address the relevant points and make the study come into practicality? That's one of my core points over here. Another thing is that if this critical study, you keep harping on that it is imperative for the winter air to come absolutely clear. Was this operational in the summer program when the air was absolutely clear? Ashwini Kumar obviously must have raised his doubts, seeing what data he has got in terms of what was facts versus fiction. They put up a smoke tower, which requires massive investment, like a 19 crores. I'm talking about the one in Hanuman Road. You spend about 5.5 crores on the advertising, and then you shut this tower. So the priority seems to be a little warped. So if somebody is flagging issues about an important study where a lot of investment is going to happen for the good for the people at a critical time of February, don't wait for so many months just when we have this whole chaos sitting off our head where breathing is a difficulty. I mean, choking is a reality. So this 7 months lacuna, I'm not able to understand. This constant thing which Miss Atishi said, that this is the first time that this study has happened. I wanted to actually correct her on facts that that we have conducted this first time real time study apportionment analysis. She mentioned this time. Actually, this has already happened by an eminent, it was commissioned by the Pollution Control Board, seeing the successive winters in 2018 and 2019, where itself IIT Delhi, IIT Kanpur, there was the lab of atmospheric chemistry a place in Switzerland. There was a French university and the physical lab of Ahmedabad, which partook in this. So to say that one bureaucrat has stalled our process doesn't make sense. I also want to raise a question to whoever's representing the Aam Aadmi Party. Recently, you came out with the 15-day winter program, the 15-point winter program. If you did not have relevant specific data to address a problem, how did you come up with this plan? I mean, was it a hogwash? Was it just putting dust in the eyes of Delhiites at another macro level? Because you very categorically said that, listen, this 15-point winter program will, if implemented correctly, will solve the problem of pollution.
Fair point.
If your data was not accumulated from
you make fair
February
points.
how did you
made
this?
Fair points. Okay, I understand what you're saying. I think our viewers have understood what you're saying, and I think you've made some very fair points. Dr. Suman C. Raman, Neoma Gupta, you asked us, you should ask this question of anyone who's representing the Aam Aadmi Party on the show. The Aam Aadmi Party, in its wisdom, doesn't send any of their representatives to Mirror Now for some strange reason. So there is no one representing the Aam Aadmi Party. Dr. Suman C. Raman will try and speak on their behalf, if at all. Dr. Raman, the points that Neoma Gupta is raising are valid ones. You have to give it to her. There are questions asked about this study 7 months ago. For 7 months, you don't answer those questions. And then suddenly, on a day when Delhi's AQI is hovering between poor and very poor, you start pointing fingers at the center, saying, "Ye dekho, ye to center ka aadmi hai." Once again, the center is harassing the Aam Aadmi Party. If you were so keen on this study, then for 7 months, why were you quiet on the questions that were asked on this study? Sabse pehle. Dusra, Neoma very rightly is saying that 15 days ago, you come up with a 15-point action plan. Here, Atishi is today saying, how do we formulate policy when we don't have data? If you didn't have data, how did you plan that? Give us those 15 steps to counter pollution.
Okay.
This is just you trying to put the blame on the center when Delhi's air quality is in news.
Okay. Now, first of all, I will not defend Aam Aadmi Party blindly on this issue. Clearly, every political party in Delhi, the Aam Aadmi Party as well as the BJP, which rules the center, have to share some of the blame for the mess. So it's no point in pointing fingers at each other. The Aam Aadmi Party is making a few points, and that is what Atishi was trying to put out today, saying that, look, the component of pollutants how much percentage is coming from where is something that is not fully studied as yet. Now, why it is still not studied after so many years is a question which can be asked of both the center and the state. But what is disappointing is that the center is more keen to point. Look, at the end of the day, Delhi is not like any other state. The state government's powers are limited. Whatever powers it has got is being clipped even further by, by the new ordinance which the government brought in, trying to say that the lieutenant governor is the final arbiter, and the Delhi government cannot even change its own IAS officers and so on. So look, the point is, if there is a will to solve this, there will be. Unfortunately, the people of Delhi don't seem to, make a big issue out of this. Every winter it happens, and after that, people just forget about it and get on with it. Again, the crop burning starts. Again, the pollution levels rise. Again, everybody makes a noise. 10 years of life is going, life expectancy is lost, and all that gyan comes out from everybody. The doctors are interviewed. I mean, we can play last year's footage over and over again, or the year before, or the year before. There is no difference. Because I think at the end of the day, the people are quite okay with this blame game of BJP blaming AAP blaming BJP. And people don't seem to, they have not made it an electoral issue as yet, which is why Aam Aadmi Party keeps getting re-elected anyway in Delhi. They haven't made it an electoral issue as yet because BJP
that's true, but
parliament elections in Delhi. So therefore, the people themselves are not bothered. Why should the governments bother about it?
well, people get bothered in 2 months, na? October and the whole of November and starting December. Pollution chokes us all, but you remember, public memory is shot in our country. Dr. Sumant, I know what you're saying. Public memory is shot in this country.
My point is, why are the people not protesting? Why are there no protests or agitations being organized for clean air? I haven't seen too many of those. I haven't seen protests organized on a large scale with maybe 50,000 or 100,000 people saying that we want clean air. Have you seen in Delhi? I have not seen it. And if
Not at
people
all.
do not
Not at
bother
all.
about
Never.
So it means
Never.
that people are willing to protest for all kinds of things, but they are not willing to protest for clean air, which is taking away 10 years of their life. What can be done? You can't do anything about
So
it.
you are
That's why
telling
political
me.
parties don't
So
care
you are
if
telling
the Aam
me
Aadmi
essentially
Party
what.
or the BJP
Essentially, your
they will
point
be,
is.
yeah.
Essentially,
I'm
your
saying
point is
my
that
point is
because
very
citizens
simple.
don't protest, it gives
No.
it gives up political parties enough reason to get away. Our political parties get
No.
away with not ensuring that the
My point
air
is,
quality of this
both
city is clean
Aam
because
Aadmi
citizens don't
Party,
protest. But
Aam Aadmi Party and BJP know that they can continue to win elections up at the state level and BJP at the parliamentary level in Delhi without doing or lifting a finger as far as the air pollution levels are concerned. That is why they will not bother enough to do it. They will make noises and say we are making attempts. They will quote statistics selectively. For instance, this year there is a statistic which says that Delhi has enjoyed better air quality over the last 6 months than it did in the proportionate period last year. So there is data to support that. So this kind of thing will go on, but I don't think anything will change because the public does not seem to want that change hard, seriously enough.
Atishi today has claimed that there is no study on the sources of pollution in the city. Actually, there are enough and more studies. I mean, all you have to do is a Google search. Yes, there may be no real-time study. There is a difference. I mean, let's Neoma, we need to put a little nuance to this. There is no real-time study on the sources of pollution, but there are enough studies to tell us mota where is the pollution in the national capital coming from. But before I come to you, Neoma, give me a minute here. Jayadhar Gupta, would you want to come in here? Today we are seeing the Aam Aadmi Party blame the center for Delhi's worsening air quality, saying that we are trying to do our best and these guys are the ones who are stalling our efforts by stalling a study that will determine real time what is causing pollution in this city. So there is bickering going on. But is this something that we as citizens as citizens of Delhi deserve? Because we don't see, Mr. Suman C. Raman is absolutely right. We don't demand better of our politicians. We let them get away with it. तो लड़ाई करेंगे, झगड़ा करेंगे. BJP will say, if you didn't have the data, why did you blame, why did you blame Punjab for all the parali burning when we were in power? The BJP will say this and get away with it. So ये तू मैं में तो चलता रहेगा, but we are the ones who don't hold our politicians accountable, because of which they can get away with this bickering.
Well, Shreya, something changed in 2020. It was the first election where, all Delhi election where all the political parties promised clean air for the residents of Delhi, and we voted on the basis of that. And that is why AAP has failed us again. And Neoma is absolutely right that there is a source
like
apportionment in many studies that exist. So we have the data already. Okay, and sir is also obviously right that there is a complete apathy towards health and life. I mean, I used to lead these protests personally at Jantar Mantar and India Gate, and then the cops started coming and arresting us. And nobody wants to be arrested. And these were all quiet, kind of peaceful protests, but we had to stop doing it, because the police didn't want any of it. Especially around now the Central Vista, and there are so many other environmental issues in that area. So we can't even gather anymore. But I really want to call AAP out. I mean, it's been 8 years. Beijing reversed the air pollution by 60% in 3 years, and 8 years into your government and leadership, you're still looking for a source apportionment study that already exists. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. This is completely smoke and mirror politics. How can you fool all of the people all of the time? Ludicrous.
This is the Aam Aadmi Party, you say, that is trying to fool the people of the city. Neoma Gupta, you wanted to come in? Go ahead, please.
Actually, I want to say, while everybody feels that the people of our city need to protest for something like this, it's really sad being a Delhiite to hear that, because we are getting greedy for clean air instead of it being a need-based system. May I just add, there is a lot of data which is not just from Google search, but also relevant data. In fact, there was a department of the heavy industry which conducted this whole study on PM 2.5 and 2.10. It's a PDF file of 560 pages specifically for Delhi. So even if this real-time analysis could not be conducted, there is very specific data for every specific thing. And if it's taken them so many years not to even use this, it just speaks sad of their ethical conduct towards another human. And, even if they don't want to use data, they should learn from experience. Like they said, I don't know if you recollect, Mr. Kejriwal had said very emphatically that the odd even scheme was excellent and it was a mega success. It was actually a mega failure, because again, there's a study showing that how bad the air quality fell after the immediate effect of that. So one doesn't want to learn from data, one doesn't want to learn from experience, one doesn't want to deliver the need of the hour. Then what should one expect from a government like that? Also, everybody says this is a political topic, which is understandable because one political party will blame the other political party. But honestly speaking, this is no more a political debate. It is a debate from the heart for just having lungs which can survive, not even breathe. So I would really like to score it on that point. In fact, Mr. Jayadhar Gupta rightfully said that it's become ludicrous, and when people do protest, then some local forces will come and say, don't protest. But this is not a matter of protest. The fact that the courts have suo moto...
Neoma Gupta, here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about this study. I understand what all of you are saying, and there is no Aam Aadmi Party representative on the channel, but I will say this, that most experts who study Delhi's pollution say we need A, real-time data. B, what they are saying is that 18% of Delhi's pollution is because of other reasons, and these other reasons need to be defined and studied if we need to bring down pollution in the city, which is why this real-time study was necessary, the one that has been blocked by the DPCC. So let's also put that fact out, that it's not like this study was just being done to waste public money and the taxpayers' money. It wasn't that. There was a purpose to that.
I completely agree with you. A real-time data is necessary, but if questions are flagged and points of contentions are taken, sustainably answer that. Why do you have to wait for 7 months to come up and speak about it? Why don't you address the topic then? There has
Dr.
to be
Raman,
a course of
I can give you 20 seconds. I have to wrap the show then.
My argument
you made that point. Dr. Raman, 20 seconds and I'll wrap the show.
Let us assume that Arvind Kejriwal has failed. Let us assume that the Aam Aadmi Party has failed. But on the other hand, we have somebody who is called a Vishwa Guru, somebody who's solving the world's problems. Why? What is it that prevents them? What is it that prevents the Prime Minister? After all, he is living in the city. What is it that prevents them from saying, look, Kejriwal can do it, Kejriwal need not do it. We will take the initiative upon us. After all, there is nothing to prevent central agencies from doing such a study. There are half a dozen central agencies which are empowered to do such studies. And if it's not empowered, so big deal. All kinds of laws are being passed to take over powers from the Delhi government. Take over this, do it. And what is to prevent that? Nothing. So I'm clear about it. This is a blame game between these two sides. And the people
easier
of
to
Delhi
play politics than to clean up Delhi's pollutions. Mr. Raman, here's the thing. It's easier to play politics and blame each other than actually clean up Delhi's pollution, which is why this political bickering will continue, because it's the easy thing to do. It's the easy thing to do. But what the citizens of this city need to be asking their politicians is some tough questions, which they don't. We'll leave it there for the moment. Neoma Gupta, thank you very much for joining us. Dr. Raman, thank you very much. And Jaydar Gupta, thank you very much as well.